Having said and learned about thanatology, we come to the subject to death itself. Death, what it is, what it really is. It could be understood in three different angles: medically, philosophically, and theologically, in three different ways. What is death? Death in medical field. According to medicine, what is death? We don't come to a concrete answer all of a sudden. In the history, it evolved. It's evolution of criteria for determining death. The heart stops beating. It was functional death. So they said, when heart doesn't beat anymore, someone is dead. And in 1951, they further went and explained, blood circulation stopped completely and breathing and pulse stopped, so somebody died. When one doesn't have pulse anymore, he is dead. And in 1968, death is irreversible cerebral coma or brain death. Even after pulse stopped, brain remained alive. So they said it's brain death. So in 1968, when brain dies, they say someone is dead. So in history it evolved. Then death, what it is philosophically. Philosophically speaking, death is part of life. It's not away from life, it happens when we live. So death is part of life, death is inseparable in our life. At the same time, death is end of life. One doesn't exist after his death. We don't see him on earth walking. So death is at the same time end of life. Death is an interruption of life. When one lives and he dies and life is interrupted. Death is an interruption of life. At the same time, death is transition of life. It transcends. It transitions. So, death is transition of life. Philosophically speaking, Indian philosophy says life and death are combinations of time, energy, and information. We all know that Indian philosophy is very deep and it sees life and death together. It sees life and death as a combination of three things: time, energy, and information. Energy and information we can control, but not time. We can control energy. When we control our energy, we control our life. That's why we all know that in Indian culture we do yoga. Yoga is to control oneself. Yoga is to control one's energy. That's why in Indian culture people practice yoga to have self-control, to control the total energy of the person. Secondly, to control information. When we control the quality of life, we control the information. The quality that someone lives, the control that one takes on his information that he shares, the quality of life improves. And finally, control of time. Then we control both life and death. But the problem is, We cannot control the time. It's not in our hands. It's not for us to decide. And theologically, what death is? Theology says everyone has a soul. That soul leaves from the body. That soul is immortal. That soul lives forever. The body is burnt or buried, but the soul will live forever. So, theology says that soul is immortal and it lives forever. Just like the driver drives the car, when the stop comes, he stops the car and gets down. So, the soul is the driver. The soul is the one who controls the person. So, when the time comes, he gets down. He gets down from the car and he leaves. This is what theology says. So, we have seen understanding death or death what it is, medically, philosophically and theologically.